like, why am I going live in like the middle of the month? So I'm actually going to be doing your monthly July reading right now because and if you guys are seeing the replay, it'll be like up like a week before like July actually starts, which is kind of like crazy, but it's because I won't have service for like 3 weeks, so I need to do it now. And I'm also filming another video today as well, just because I I decided that I actually want to stay on top of my upload game, so that's what we're going to do today. Is stay on top of my upload game. So let me light this incense. I also have a candle that I'm going to light today as well, just because I feel like it needs to be lit. I also have been like really into like wax lately, just like dripping wax. So that's what we're doing. Actually, I don't think I can see the chat, so let me just like, okay, yeah, now all messages are visible, so that's great. So if you don't know how my readings work, if you're just tuning in for the first time, my readings go as follows. I do a general reading first to begin with, and then I go into the elements. So if you go by your big three, so if you have like a water, sun, air, moon, and earth rising, then you would go and watch for water, air, and earth. If you just have, let's say, a fire, sun, and two, like an earth, moon, and an earth rising like me, then you would just do fire, earth, and earth for that. So that's how these readings work. If you're watching the replay, then I will put timestamps below, and if you're not, then you're just gonna have to wait your turn, I guess. But yeah, it might be really rushed, just because I really do have other things to do today, that I honestly wasn't planning on doing. Like, I just watched The Handmaiden, so I am low on 2 hours of time, but it was a beautiful movie. It was my first time watching it, and I was like, oh, gorgeous, beautiful. Anyway, oh, my incense was going, and I didn't realize that I still had it burning like that. So half of it's like wasted right now, but it's all right. Let's see, let's start with the general reading. Let's see what's going on. Oh, and by the way, if you want a reading, like a more in-depth reading after all of this, then you can book with me. My website will be linked in the description. But you can just go to, for those of you who are like joining me live, you can go to jojobaastudios.com to book a reading. And it's in like the shop section. You can't miss it. Like, it's so easy to get there. Okay, now let's start with this general reading. What does July have in store for us? In July. Ooh, I see. Okay, yeah. So usually I pull only 4 cards, but on the last one, 2 popped out instead of 1. So I'm just gonna leave those 2 together. But overall, it's gonna be like sort of like a perspective shift, like a perspective change. It's gonna be like kind of, you're gonna have like a lot going on mentally for sure, but it's gonna get like so much better, and your life's going to improve throughout, like, you know, the end of the month. So it's not like anything serious, maybe just like again, a perspective change, maybe like something that you thought was true actually wasn't, or maybe like your morals are changing during this time. You're kind of like, oh my god. One thing that really is popping out to me right now is maybe you're reflecting on a decision that you made or a conversation that you had with somebody, the way that you reacted or the choice that you made, sort of like bringing you like to this state of like, oh, I should have done this, how can I do better, like whatever. And you're going to get into like this weird state of like just trying to, you know, fix your mistakes, make the bed that you laid in, clean up the mess you made, basically. So this, we'll just start with like the regular first week. So we have 9 wands here. I'm on my iPad too, by the way. Usually I do these lives on my laptop, but I decided that, you know, I do have an iPad. I should probably, you know, use my iPad because the camera's better. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But first week we have the 9 of wands. And that just really showed, just kind of like looking back, reflecting on like all the hard work. Maybe you're just like overworked, or maybe you're just like seeing all the shit that you're doing and you're like, I'm really doing this for like absolutely nothing, you know? You're just like really reflecting on your decisions, your choices, or whatever. Maybe you have like a guilt that surrounds you, like that's sort of like towering over you. Maybe you're having like just a weird internal conflict that's just starting to brew at this point, and you're like, something's going on, you know, something, it was not morally aligned with like me and, you know, what I actually believe. So, you know, like it's gonna be a bit of a weird time for you, especially during the first week, but really the first sort of like 3-ish weeks, the whole month of June really, but towards the end it does get better. Yeah, you're just gonna be sort of like looking around, watching your back, sort of like feeling maybe a sense of betrayal. I don't think that's right. It's not really a sense of betrayal, but a sense of like, who can I trust? You know, like your guard is going to be up around this time, and you might not be very close with anyone during this time. I see a lot of isolation, especially within the first 2 weeks. In fact, there's not really any sense of like overwhelming happiness or joy or just like sustainable content until around like the 3rd week. Even if that, it's mostly in like the last week of July. If I keep saying July, I'm so sorry. Within the 4th week of July is when you'll probably like get back into like your normal groove and your way of life and stuff like that. But during the 2nd week, we see that like sort of like mental, emotional turmoil, or like this second guessing sort of really take a hold of you as you are presented with the nine of swords. And you know, funny thing about this is, and I'll get to like, you know, what the 2nd week holds in a little bit after I explain this, but we had originally 9 of wands, and now we have 9 of swords, and 9 is really the number of completion, and like, okay, like this is done, this area of my life is like over, it's a closing, it's an ending. And then the 3rd week we have the Fool, the only 0 that exists within the tarot, which, fun fact, you know, whatever. And it's really like the actual like new beginning, like, okay, we are starting this journey now. You know, whatever's going on, I'm just like sort of in this like drift transition period, and from like going from what I once knew, what's gone, what's in the past, and coming into something that's you know, awaiting me, that's part of my journey, that's kind of like you know, new and like uncharted waters and stuff. I have been listening to that song from The Little Mermaid for like a long time. I have like beef with that song, honestly. It's like a love-hate relationship. I wish that the chorus wasn't what it was, and I wish that like sort of like dark and yearning part of that song was just like all throughout. But I love it regardless, but I also don't like it because of it's all good, but I just wish that it was just mixed. I wish they played with it a little bit more. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So the second week, you're going to be in this sort of state of like, just complete and utter reflection. It might get on your nerves. It might send you down like a rabbit hole of like depression or anxiety or something like that, or you just might be worried or stressed. And that's okay. You know, we all go through the motions and stuff like that. So don't really worry about it too much. What I will say is that keep this time, like whatever you think about, you know, during this time, don't beat yourself up for it. It's just like, okay, it's just really, it's pushing you. It's a push. It's you're being propelled into this new thing, because you're going to be dissatisfied with whatever you are contemplating or in disagreement with. You're going to be pushed out of that space because of your because you're uncomfortable. So just keep that in mind. Like, it's okay. In fact, I would recommend journaling, just to get all that noise out. I know sometimes it can be a distraction. You don't want it to distract you too much, just for like mental health's sake, you know. So just make sure that you know, you're just in a good. You're keeping up with yourself during all this time. Don't let yourself like go waste away inside of bed or whatever. And if you are doing that, make sure you're doing that in a productive and safe space. And what I mean by that is, sure, you might be like on your phone, like lying in bed the whole entire time. But what about, you know, like when you get up to go use the bathroom, or like, you know, get up and go get food or whatever, if you like forget to eat, just like maybe take a couple laps around the house, maybe like, you know, do some squats, maybe like grab like I don't know, a puzzle or a game, or like, you know, a deck of cards so you can play like solitaire or something like that with yourself. Just like keep yourself entertained and not really in like that negative state, but you know, like appreciate that you're in that space, but don't actively stay in that space because it'll make it worse. And I want you to be as like sort of open as possible to the possibilities that are presented to you. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself during that time, during the second week of July. Again, so we have the pool, and this is going to be for the third week of July. Remember, this is a general reading, so if it doesn't apply, let it fly, but this is what I see right now. And also, it might be very shallow. Some people might get like this full force. Other people might just have like, you know, just ride the surface, literally. Just ride the waves and stuff. So just keep that in mind as we progress through the general reading. Again, if you want more in depth, you can go to your elements later on within this live or later on in the video. And you can also book a reading with me if that doesn't suffice. So then we have the full for the third week. And, you know, this is, again, just coming out of that space, being like, fuck it, you know, whatever happened, happened. It was in the past. It's now in the past. And I'm just sort of, like, releasing it. I'm letting it all go. I'm looking forward to something different. I'm looking up for guidance. I'm looking, you know, I'm just, like, looking around at my surroundings, thinking, was this what I have been missing? Or is this what I've been missing? Or, you know, like, I've just, like, been... you know, noticing things around me that I wouldn't have noticed before because I was stuck in something that was over, something that was done, finished for me. I know a lot of people have a hard time, like, sort of, like, accepting, like, new things, new areas within their lives, And to that, I will say, um, it's sort of like, again, this is kind of like you're being pushed into this. So instead of like having anxiety about it and stuff like that, maybe share some excitement. Like not everything has to be scary, not everything has to be like a detriment to your health or like out to get you or something like that. If you've had like bad experiences in the past with starting over and like new beginnings and stuff like that, realize that that's in the past and this is your present. So whatever you put into it is what's going to come out of it. If you just solely determine that the third week of July is going to be terrible ass, like completely just like erratic and not having any sort of structure, then that's probably what you're going to get, because you're going to subconsciously like emit that into your life, and you're going to see all of that and none of the beautiful things around you, right? So just make sure that you are open to these possibilities, this newness that's presented to you, especially now, because then you get into the fourth week, and the fourth week is interesting because we have the Three of Pentacles, and then we have the Star. Now, all of you who know or have had a reading with me, you know that the Star is my absolute favorite card, and I love it when it pops up for me, for other people as well. I just love the card in general. So, during the fourth week, and every time you get this card, you know it's going to be like a good thing. Sometimes it might be like a good thing in a negative environment or something like that, or a negative experience, but it's still nonetheless a good thing, and something to look forward to. So we have this Three of Pentacles here. Now, I feel like during this time, it's going to be like sort of like, okay, well, we've explored our options, we've, done all the lollygagging and the exploration and stuff like that. Now it's time to sort of like bring ourselves back down to earth. Bring ourselves back down to earth and really just like sort of look at like our options. Like, how can I want to use the word collaborate, and that's probably the best word, but not for what I'm trying to say. So collaboration is probably in there somewhere. We'll probably get to that later, but it's more of like, how can I balance, harmonize with the things that are around me? How can I like bring to life, like manifest, whatever newness that I'm trying to execute, what is it that I'm trying to manifest, and stuff like that. So like, this is like a sort of like communion, or I guess this is where collaboration comes in. Collaboration with like you, your spirit guides, and your higher self. It's like, okay, guys, what's the plan? What's next? What are the next steps? So that's what you're going to be doing for that. And so this is, again, the Star. Love it. Usually when you see the Star, you look at hope, you look at, inspiration and stuff like that. Well, all those things may be true. Here it's kind of like pouring yourself and like your nourishment into, or nurturing like this sort of idea that you've had, or that was given to you. You're going to have a lot of downloads at that time. Lots of ideas for you to like go ahead and like, ideas that will be present for you, that will literally probably transform your life if you use it in a good way, but if not, then just keep you going, keep you ahead, and keep you on the right path. Lots of downloads for you to be steered on the right path. If you've been led astray for a while, this could probably be a result of that, a consequence or whatever, the first week of July. So yeah, it's gonna put you back on the right path if you haven't been, or just like further you along, for sure. One thing that I also feel is you're going to have guidance, but not like directly, more so like um, a random inspiration to do things. Like you're going to be much more spontaneous, and um, this is not like a folly. I don't think I used that word right, but there's an F word out there that I'm supposed to be using um, in replace of that. But this isn't like faultiness. It's not like a fault. Um, it's it's by design. You know, like you're not getting these ideas just because you are a spontaneous person. You're getting these ideas because you were meant to have them, and like your guides, your deities are giving them to you. Goddess is giving them to you. State of appreciation, um, love, um, and just like overall, just thanks. You know, giving back, making sure that that prayer that you do when you receive gratitude is a constant throughout this time. I mean, obviously, you're going to have different feelings and stuff like that, but it's going to be sort of like in a state of, you know, like you're just going to feel the goodness and positivity come to you. So when you feel that, just like hold a little gratitude in your heart and stuff like that. One thing I also will point out is that this card, the numbers add up to 8. And so this could be something like sort of like a karmic cycle, maybe, or something that revolves around you. You know, having like sort of like a pattern, cyclic patterns or something like that. So if you are in like the middle of breaking a bad habit, now is a great time to do so. Now is the time to build healthy habits as well, and just overall improve your life. Like for real, like just overall improve your life. So just have faith and determination, and you know, just ride the wave. I know it's gonna be hard like the first 2 months, but at that point, like there's not really anything that you can do because you're literally like at the end. You have to start over. You are like, there's no other option really for you. If you stay there, you're just gonna continue to be like misguided, mistreated, and like have all these worries and stresses and stuff, and it's not going to be good. Let's see. Frustration and dispute. Allow your mind to wander. Hinder yourself from unnecessary answers. Yeah, just let it go. You know, it's literally the end, so there's no need to try to understand it anymore unless you're just like reflecting for progression's sake. There's no need to try to like go back, relive, like just let it go. Because what you would be thinking about, is not a part of your future. It's not a part of like the present that you're going to be residing in. So why worry about it? Why keep that in your mind if it's just going to continue to weigh you down, you know? Pack Light. That song by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady. I love that. So this one says, great things follow to those who dare to descend to the depths of their existence. So sorry, that was a struggle read, but I think part of this card is like weathered a little bit because I use this deck so much. But yeah, here we go, right here. It's okay to like sit. That's why I was talking about like journaling and stuff like that. It's okay to just like sit in your messiness in the mind, in the webs of your mind, and just like explore what's in there. You know, is it doing you good? Maybe. You know, sometimes it's not like a bad thing to go in there and see what's like, you know, brewing. Sometimes it's not bad at all. In fact, it's encouraged during this time because then you can see this is your moment of reflection, not any time after, but during the second week of July. That's your moment of reflection. So get everything that you have to think about out at that point and just leave the rest. Let go and let God, you know? Strength and fragility teaches how our vulnerability is purely a blessing. Again, like, you're going to have to let go. And a lot of people, again, hate starting over, hate, getting into new things because there's no stability there. You go where you're comfortable because you know the structure, like the visuals, the floor plan, what's good, what's not, who's cooking what and who's not, just like the atmosphere, how's it going to be, if you if you leave your plates on the table or if you put them away, like those are the types of things that people like to avoid and like to do, well, not avoid, but those are the types of things that people gravitate towards because comfortability is comfortable. Well, so groundbreaking, I know, but like it really is, like it's hard to get out of like cycles and like patterns and stuff because that's how you've lived your life, literally. And getting into like a new space where it's just sort of like, okay, now I have to do this new thing. It's kind of like, oh, but I want to go back to that because that's all I've ever known, or like, oh, I want to go back to that because that's what makes me feel safe. And you don't need that right now. What you need to do is be open. You need to show a bit of vulnerability and stuff because, things don't create themselves out of, just nothingness. Things don't create themselves out of staying the same, whatever. The paint's not going to be on, the canvas if you don't move the paint, if you don't change the angle of the way that you're painting, if you don't like increase the depth, the light, the dark, the contrast of what you're painting. It's not going to be anything but a blob or anything but like literal nothingness because you haven't done anything to create anything. Change involves letting go and being vulnerable. And that's why a lot of people hate picking up a new hobby or something, or like specifically, let's keep this analogy going with painting. A lot of people are scared to do it and show their work because one, they're scared to be vulnerable and let their selves out or like let their imagination out. They don't think that they're good enough or whatever, and so they purposely shrink their capabilities because they think that they're not good enough to create what's in their head when they truly are, regardless of skill. Of course, like, skill exists and you're not going to be like the greatest artist of all time, and maybe you are, but you will never know if like you don't allow yourself to like be free from your own change, your mental chains, and create the image that you see in your head. And one of the reasons why I use the analogy painting a lot, or like just creating art in general, is because it translates so well over to like manifestation and like people trying to live the lives that they envision themselves living. But you can't do that if you're not actively creating that. So you can't just say, oh, I want to live in like an 8 bed 7 bath house and still try to live in a 1 bed 1 bath apartment. It's not gonna work. You're gonna have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to work to get the money for it. You're going to have to work to find like the area for it, the perfect area for you, because you might find like a good house that fits like all of your needs and stuff, but it might not be in the right area, and that area is going to not fit your vision. So you have to put in the work in order to get what you want. Oh my god, I wrote it down I know. So this is fucking crazy because I always get downloads. Um, I always get downloads right before I'm going to sleep. Literally right before, so I have to turn over, put it in my notes app, and then go back. You know, I always get it. It's so annoying sometimes. So like to the point where sometimes I just ignore it and go to sleep because I'd be tired. You know. But I wrote this down literally last night. If you want something, you're going to have to get it. If you don't, it's a disservice to you, your guides, and the deity that sent you that download. All that cosmic energy and potential is wasted because you were too afraid, too lazy, and too settled to go get it. And I feel like that's perfect for what we're saying right here, right now. So I'm going to end it right now, this general reading, because if I continue, it's going to be way too long, and I absolutely don't want that, because last time it was almost 2 hours long, and I feel like people get intimidated when they see 2 hour long videos, so I don't want to make it as long as that again. But we're going to move on to water signs first. I really do. I don't think I've ever done water signs first. I don't know, maybe that's a lie, but it's just not in my head right now. So we're gonna move on to water signs. Everyone else, just stay tuned, I guess. Alright, water signs. What does July hold for you? Ew. We see you got options here. Love that for you. Which is also kind of interesting because there it is again. Wow. Okay. You guys are just exactly who I'm supposed to be talking to, right? Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of like double numbers here. I don't know why, but in the first reading we had 2 9s and then a 0. But here we have, never mind. We'll get to it after I pull this other card. Oh, okay. I guess you guys are the double, the double stack, or the double elements, because you have 2 2s and 2 10s, which is very interesting. So you're going to have completely different, experiences for this month, for July. Give me a second, guys. You guys know how I just like absolutely cannot get through a reading without my throat dying, unless it's like this is why I keep my readings like 30 minutes to an hour whenever I do like professional readings or like, you know, readings with clients or whatever. It's because if I go any longer, my throat literally gives out. It does. It gives out. So that's why I don't offer longer readings, over an hour. If we're doing like a video call, I have to keep that. I have to protect my voice, protect my throat. Anyway, so we have like this weird thing going on. Let's talk about the overall energy here. You're going to, it's very fucking weird, by the way. Like, I'm not trying to scare you guys, because this is nothing like serious, but it's like, it's very playful, but very like back and forth, you know what I mean? So let's start with like the first half of the month. The first half of the month, it's going to be sort of like you're playing around, you're like looking at your options, and you're like, wow, like, you know, I've got a lot that I could do right now. And then you just like sort of like bring someone else into the equation. You know, you might be like spending some time with like another person, really committing to one thing, while before you were sort of like, oh, okay, we're in this like area of like, okay, I'm just vibing. I'm I'm an eligible bachelor. I'm just gonna, you know, do what I want, and that's gonna be it. But then like, you know, later on, it's kind of like, okay, it's like the consequences of your actions is going to happen. not for anything that you've done within the first half of the month, but for the third week. Um, the actions that you take in the third week will have a direct effect of what happens on the fourth week of July. So let's get into this. Let's dive deeper into it. So you have the Two of Pence, and this card makes me like so like jovial and so like amused, because it's kind of like, yeah, I got this going on. I'm like juggling two things at once, exploring my options, really just kind of like, this could be also two streams of income and everything, but his dumbass little hat is what really gets me, because it's like he's got a big head, and stuff like that. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm like, I'm on top of the world, but really he's not. Yeah, so it's kind of like you're just in like this space of like having not really commitment. Here again we see this infinity sign. Remember last reading with the star that adds up to 8, and we have that infinity sign there, right? So this could mean like, okay, well, how about this? I have like so many things that I could do. I have so many possibilities, so many like choices that I have. Like I can choose whatever. Infinite outcomes, infinite possibilities, and stuff. So why don't I just pull my luck? If this is like a card of like sort of like gambling, one or the other and stuff like that. So why don't I just like pull my luck and go for it, right? And here, so you're in that space of like, I don't know, just sort of like being open to possibilities during that time, seeing like different choices that you can make during that time, for the first week of July for you. But then we have the Two of Cups here. Two of Cups is very like the opposite energy of this, because not only do you have one person, you now have two, but not only are you not like holding everything for yourself, you're also sharing with another person, and it kind of shows here. Anyway, here we have the infinity right here down at the bottom, and it grows and it sort of like breaks off, sort of like you're breaking bread and stuff. Of course, these are snakes, and you guys remember that? It's an ancient like Egyptian story, and it was like, I can't remember, but it's something about a box, and that the box was guarded by an infinite snake that was like eating its tail. It was underwater and it was eating its tail, so I guess it was a serpent, but whatever. That kind of like reminds me of this. I don't know how that fits into the story. I'd have to like look. I have to look back at the story to actually get the full picture here. But I think something was really special in those boxes that the snake was guarding. I think there was actually like layers of boxes, so it's kind of like I think they're called Russian dolls or whatever, where it would be like, okay, inside, and the more you go, the smaller the doll gets. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but each box was like, it became like higher quality and more expensive. So I guess like outside it'd be like a wooden box, and then you go in and it's kind of like, okay, well, this box is like copper, and then you go in, it's like this box is ivory, this box is like jade or whatever, or like emerald or whatever. And I think that's they were hiding something within like the boxes itself, and I can't remember what it was, but anyway, you're sort of like coming out of that into like a space of, okay, now I've made my choice, now I've found out what's like really worth it to me, what's actually like worth my energy. So I'm breaking out of that infinite possibilities and I'm committing to this one thing. It's kind of like you're being like, okay, uh, it's like sort of like you're solidifying a bond, a partnership with something or someone here. And you're like, okay, let's get down to business. Like it's you and me. You know, we're doing this. Let me actually look a little bit closer. Yeah, you see, they're not only holding cups, which if you know like art history and stuff like that, or just art in general, um, and how to like determine what's going on. If there's food here, like if they're eating food in the picture, it's solidifying. It's creation of a bond. It's like communion. So like often it's like we're not talking about just still lives, but like if there's like a sexual I don't know image. Okay, well like let's say there's an image of two people. Let's say just a man and a woman for heteronormativity, um, but there's like fruit in the center of them. That means that they are romantically involved, whether that's like properly like a marriage or something, or they're just sneaking around, fooling around and whatnot, then it's not, it's like, it's they're romantically involved. But if there's like a party, let's say the Last Supper, and they're literally all eating with Jesus, obviously that's a bond within itself. It's a holy, what do we call it? A holy binding, a holy binding. Also, it's sort of like a last goodbye, but because everyone likes to throw parties when we get rid of we're moving up in life when we reach milestones. When you're reaching a milestone, you create a party. That party is a celebration of the end of whatever life you were living before that, and a welcoming of that new beginning as well. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but I actually do know where I was going with that. I was just rambling on too much about like the significance of the cups here, specifically here. But also one thing that we have is the holding of hands here. So that's like literally a tie. Like you're tying yourself. You're literally committing to someone at this, or something. Could be something as well. At this point, and the fact that they have crowns around their head also symbolizes sort of like a divine agreement, if that makes sense. Like there's a cosmic, celestial, divine connection coming through their head and into the hands. So it's like literally a divine cosmic energy exchange. So you are like in there once you commit to whatever you're committing. So sorry if this scares you for people who have commitment issues, but I doubt that's that serious. I'm just really diving really, really deep into this. Again, if you want a deeper reading, or like a reading that's more like tailored to you, so you know actually what's going on, then you can book a reading with me in my shop. But link in the description if you're watching the replay. So yeah, it's like very much you're being locked down here, but in a good way as well. Especially since anyway, whatever. I'm just really overanalyzing that card because it's interesting to me. I found it like really fun in that moment. Anyway, so the third week of July is sort of like, I don't know, it's like a weird way of saying, okay, I'm really successful, I'm in a good place right now. You might have come into a large sum of money. Maybe you've gotten a raise or something like that. Maybe you've had an opportunity to make money, or maybe like your business partner and you are doing a fantastic job and you're like making investments, or like people are making investments in your business or in you specifically, or whatever. There's also that bond again with the dogs there. But regardless, all of this to say is that you're going to have like a lot of success, and that might be not even monetary success, but you might have a lot of success in your life, and you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I want to keep this up, I want to like have this being stable and whatever, and that's going to so you're going to put in those efforts to get that stability and get that foundation going, or even just like if it isn't a foundation, just like really just building on top of that, on top of what you're given, and you might be a little bit spendy. And so what I'm viewing here is you might be a little bit like, okay, let's invest in everything, or maybe like, okay, I'm going to give a lot of my money away because that's what I don't know, I can at that point. And although Terry is pretty good, you're not really at that spot to be giving away like a lot of money. And we're talking about like more than like maybe $100. You're not in that space at this moment. So whatever decision that you make here, you're going to sort of be indulgent in that. You're going to sort of like go a little bit overboard in that, and you're going to overwork yourself, or you're going to see that that choice that you made within that space is going to cause you to pay it back or get it back, and you're going to have to hustle, grind, get that struggle money to really give that back into your finances, or even just like, I don't know, your life, I guess, into your garden. Gardens, speaking of gardens, I guess this is just another analogy, but like the way that successful gardens work is that everyone eats. So you plant vegetables, herbs, and different other plants, fruiting plants around each other to create like a sort of like beneficial ecosystem for that. So the flowering or fruiting plants bring in the pollinators, and like let's say like the bulbous plants, or like the rooting, what are they called? You know what I'm talking about. The potatoes and fucking tubular, I don't know, whatever. Those plants bring in like, sort of like, I don't know, nitrogen or something that's needed within the soil. So they nurture the soil, or nourish the soil is the word that I was trying to say, and stuff like that. So every plant has a purpose besides just being used for food, right? Well, then you have like the pollinators are coming in and pollinating and stuff, and like you got like the spiders are coming in and keeping away all the all the bugs that would eat the food and everything and whatnot. And then you have like once it's harvest time, you get yours, and then you give to the people around you, or the people who might be in need of like your surplus, whether that be selling or just giving it away. In a great garden, everyone eats, but when you become, or like when one thing becomes a bit full of itself, let's see, or a bit blinded, or a bit self-centered, it grows and grows and decides, I know that there's no competition right now, but I want what that person has, or I want what that plant has, and it goes and overcrowds that plant and leaves it dying and stuff. Or let's say one species of like insect is being overzealous and overpopulating, and now you have a bug problem, and you're not getting any pollinators in your garden because a predator insect is eating all your pollinators and causing them not to come. Or maybe you just keep all that food, and that waste is just, you're creating so much waste, you're not doing anything with it. It's kind of like, why have a garden in the first place? And stuff. So keep in mind that everything needs balance, and although you might be trying a really good time, like a really, really hard to be you know, good at it. Just keep an eye on yourself. A lot of times we get so like caught up in the success and everything that we forget that you know, the work to make it balanced is not, it doesn't really feel good. You know, it's calm. It's not that high riding, you know, level of energy that you just want to like really exist in all the time. It's that calmness. It's that like going back to like centering yourself and stuff like that, and realizing that other people are around you, realizing that, oh, you have other needs besides this like one thing that's causing you such pleasure. It's going back and reflecting. That's where that balance is, not, you know, not in your high that you get off of whatever success that's going to be coming to you. So remember that, or you're going to be working hard to pay it back. Okay, let's see what else is for you. Water signs. Let's see what else you have. Life is a magical experience. Become the muse of your own verses. Ew, that's fun. What else do you have? Reduction and devastation. Pay attention to your flaws, because in them you will discover your affinity for others. Yeah, so this is sort of like, again, like allowing yourself to be open, allowing yourself to like just like really sort of like create and stuff, but also reminding you that while you are creating such success or such a beauty for yourself, and maybe for like another person or like whatever, that other people do exist, and it's really important to not take away from other people. That's what I just said, but that's what I said a minute ago. But just keep in mind that sorry, I had it and then I lost it. Keep in mind that it's okay. Like, there's enough for everybody. You know, like your success, it does not diminish someone else's success. There's no competition, and if you continue to think that there is competition, you're just going to harm more and more people by trying to put others down so you can get on top. Instead, think of, again, in a space of creation. There is enough for you. You just have to create that space for you. Or there is enough for you. You just have to create the means of you obtaining it, for you to obtain it. You know? Don't ever try to take away from someone else, because there's always something for you there. You just have to go out and look for it. So be aware of like jealousy and stuff like that, because that's just only going to harm you in the long run. And that's it for water signs. Let's go. Okay, if you want to book a reading, again, link in the description. You can go to jojobaastudios.com. I was going to do the www, but whatever, I hate saying that. Let's move on to air signs. Alright, air signs. What does July have in store for you? Let's see. Okay, we got that again. Oh, shit. Okay. You guys got a card that water signs got. So that's fun. Let's see. What else does July have for you? Interesting. I love that. Okay. So you guys have like this weird sort of like flip-flop thing going on. So did water signs, but not in this way. It's sort of like, for them, it was sort of like the month was split in half, but for you guys, it's all together for real. And I think this is actually really healthy. If we're being honest, I think this is a way that a lot of people should go about their lives. So good for you. But we'll just start with like just the general sort of like feel of this. So you're going to feel like it's gonna be like, okay, you're riding the high ground or whatever. You're gonna be like, you know, really successful at one point, and then you're going to go away, and like, you know, be recluse and be it yourself. Then you're going to be, you know, at the top again, and then you're going to go away and be like, again, by yourself or go find something new. And I feel like this could be sort of like an avoiding problem, like you might be self-sabotaging. But the healthy way I see this is that you're not just going away from the success that you've created for yourself, but it's more of like you're just going to reflect and learn how you can like build on it, you know? So actually let me take a drink real quick because we're hitting that hour mark. So we have the 10 of coins. This was the card that water signs got. So during the first week, you're going to feel a bit extravagant is the word. You're going to feel like sort of like everything's together, everything's in place, and I feel like you're going to want to hold on to that a lot. We've also got like the tree of life here. So this could be something that you've like a birthright, if that makes sense. So you've obtained something that was like ancestrally brought to you specifically. It could be inheritance, like monetary inheritance or like material inheritance, but it could also be like spiritual inheritance. You might be tapping into like some gifts that you didn't think you had. Maybe you're coming of age. Maybe you're coming of age, like where maybe like the women in your family like sort of like bloom and have like this beautiful gift bestowed upon them, something like that. Who knows? But what I do know is that it's one of those two things, and that it is blood, like blood related. And yeah, it's kind of hard to fuck that up. And if you do, then you have probably done something diabolical. For real, because this is a good thing and not a bad thing. A good like blood tie, not a bad blood tie. And bad blood ties are obviously terrible and horrible to get rid of, you know. We all know about generational curses and stuff like that, but this is good. This is something that was given to you, that your ancestors, that your family worked hard for, and you are seeing the benefit of their hard work. It's being passed down to you. Maybe that's like, you know, tradition or something like that, or something that revolves around I don't know, just like ways of life for real. But again, it can be material, completely material as well. So what you want to do is keep it, and you're trying to keep it, right? And this is where I originally said abandonment issues, because of this card. We have the 8 of Cups here. Typically this is seen as the abandonment card, you know, self-sabotage, whatever, and it might actually be for you. You might fuck it up, or like try to fuck it up. But what I really see here is not you you know, abandoning like this beautiful thing that was this beautiful gift, this blessing that was given to you, but you're going away to find out, you're going to get counsel, is what's going on. So, and we have like emotions here, like intuition. So you might just like go hermit, like complete hermit mode, and you know, go inward and like find counsel. Or you might just be grieving during this point if it is inheritance. Finding out, like, just like really appreciating the life of your loved one or whatever and stuff like that. But really, here it's counsel. You know, being surrounded by friends, family, your loved ones, your spirit guides, your spiritual counsel, and stuff like that. And really, sort of like hearing their wisdom and accepting their support and compassion. For sure. It's sort of like a connectedness. You know, like this is so for you. You cannot like fuck it up. But it's sort of like a confusion, so you're like relying on other people to help you maintain what was given to you within the first week of July. So then we have King of Cups again, as your cup is filled. King of Cups here. As your cup is filled within the third week, and you're like, okay, I'm mature enough to deal with this at this point. You're going to be making some moves, you know, showing compassion, showing gratitude that you're there, that you've gotten that blessing, whatever, and building upon that as well. Acknowledging that, really acknowledging your ancestors' efforts and stuff. You might be also researching a little bit. Really just like so I say researching, although this is not a research card, because you might be researching like how to bring traditions, like how to further the traditions, you know, like the different types of things your family were doing or like have done like for centuries. You might be like learning how to keep that up, because here I see that you're probably going to be viewed as like a matriarch or a patriarch, or just like the head of your family at this point. And if not you, like being like the actual head, then you're just going to be like someone that's like super important in the family. That people go to, you're going to be like, you're going to become an elder, you know? And so this is requiring you to like really take your throne, take your seat at the table, and start learning the ways of your people all over again. And during the fourth week, you have the Six of Swords. And here during fourth week, again, you're going to do that exploration, that research, you know, really diving deep into who you are and where you came from and who your family is and where they came from, and stuff like that. And really just accepting, you know, your new role, your blessings, your gift, and everything like that. And knowing that you're supported, and knowing that, okay, it's time for me to take care of these people. It's time for me to take care of, you know, what I was given. So you're going to go out and, you know, learn and explore how to do that. You might actually, as well, be taking a leave for a little bit just so you can, you know, regroup and gather yourself, so you can be like mature enough or like ready enough to take over when, you know, the call arises. Okay, let's see what else there is for you. What else is there for you? Okay. Oh, yeah, cards. Okay. Creativity and alchemy. Fortune and prosperity go hand in hand. So is your ability to sustain what you already have. Again, given like a direct bloodline, it's to you. You already have it because your ancestors made it so. Contain your temper if it's fulfillment you seek. Integrating yourself will be your best asset. Again, going back, having that reflection, victory and conquest. We have the king there. And then we have overcome your concerns by embracing change in the midst of confusion. One can also find purpose. That basically just reiterated all that I said. So let me just actually end with this after I put my cards back. Okay, let me just end with this. It's okay. You're going through like a time where it's like, oh, so many good things are happening, but at the same time, it's like, oh, so many good things are happening, you know, like that change is real. And it might be an overwhelm of emotions. So you dipping down, going in, like searching for yourself and like really, really like being that core, or going to the core and figuring out who you are and what your purpose is and like how you're going to handle this is probably the best thing that you could do during this time. And I'm being so dead ass about that. Because if you were to just accept it and run with it, you would not have, you would not be like, it wouldn't be wise, to say the least. It wouldn't be wise because first you would have to, you know, learn as you go, which you already are, but you're going to be so unprepared when things come up. It's going to cause you and other people stress. And just going into it and not taking time to like, okay, do I want to accept, to be like, okay, do I want to accept this? Or, okay, how do I accept this graciously or gracefully? And obviously having trouble with that word. How do I, you know, just go forward with this? You're not taking the time to ask yourself those questions to really like get your head back on where it needs to be. Getting your heart in the right space as well. Heavy on the heart being in the right space. You're not going to have the success that you think you are, and you might actually, that might be the catalyst for you losing your blessing and losing your fortune. So yeah, just reflect, make sure that you're in the right space to get this blessing. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to, oh, if you want more in-depth reading, you can go look at my shop and book a reading with me there. Okay, I'm moving on to fire signs. Fire signs, what does July have for you? Let's see. Some of these reviews have been like super cool, super good. So we'll see what happens for you this July. If the cards want to come out. Ooh. What else? What else is there for you this July? It might just be that sometimes whenever I do like monthly readings, no other card's gonna jump out because like the only card that's there is going to be like for the duration of the month. So sometimes I really have to like beg my deck to pull something else out. Oh, cool. That's very on brand actually. Okay. What is it with this card? Oh my god, this card. 10 of Coins is popping out for literally everybody. Literally everyone. And if Earth signs get it too, then it's obviously just like a thing that's going on like within the cosmos or something like that, where it's like affecting everybody. Because what the fuck? Anyway, last card for you guys. for July. What's the 4th week of July looking like? It was in that same spot anyway, whatever. I think it was in the same spot. Yeah, it was in the same spot for water signs. Ew. Okay. Yes. Love this for you guys. You guys are going to put in fucking work, fire signs. And I'm a fire sun. I'm an Aries sun. So I know for a fact, ooh, you guys are going to go put in fucking work. I love that for you guys. Wow. Okay. So here we have Page of Cups, first week. And that's literally like, usually I do like an overview of like what's going on within the month, but it's literally you're putting in fucking work and you're getting rewarded, obviously. Yeah, we have Page of Cups here. You're gonna feel something. You're gonna be like, wow. You're gonna have like this sort of like passion brewing inside of you, and you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking go for it. Whatever this idea, this inspiration, this creativity that's dawned on you during this moment, during the first week of July, whatever download that you're receiving, it's going to be so beautiful, so impactful, so great. Like, it's gonna have such a beautiful effect on your life that by the end of it, you're just gonna be like, I'm done. It's over, you know? Gonna sit back and fucking relax. And I love that for you. But anyway, so yeah, you're gonna have like this beautiful space of just like receiving and like having so much love to give to the universe, to people, and everything like that. You might be even communing with nature at this point. You're gonna be very charismatic during this time too. So if you are down for dates or something like that, be sure to like plan them for the first week of July, because they will go very smoothly. Then, yeah, so you're going to have like lots of downloads, lots of creativity, like creative spikes and stuff. So if you've been in a space where like maybe you've been like having writer's block or artist's block, or something like that, that's gonna be clear and you're gonna be good to go and continue on, you know, doing the things that you need to do during that time. But then we have during the second week, because of that download or whatever, you're actually going to go ahead with the plan and like fulfill, you know, whatever like idea that came to mind, whatever inspired you. You're going to use that momentum and inspiration to actually start building and like creating, you know, that thing. And you're going to have the Chariot here, second week of July. So the Chariot is all about victory, success. I don't want to say trampling, but that's not really it. There's a C word that it's not triumph. I mean, yeah, triumph, but there's a C word that I'm thinking of that's not really in my head right now. You know, you swear you read for like ever, you read for 22 years, and not a single word comes up when you need it, you know? Anyway, so yeah, you know, you're going to have like this beautiful, every time, fun fact, I'm left-handed and I have this like little bump on my pinky from writing and drawing so much and using my hand, and every time I like get a download or like, you know, creative spike or something, this fucking hand always itches. So for sure, like, yeah, okay, so you're going to have like this, you're just gonna fucking go for it, you know? You're gonna have like all this momentum, all this sort of like passion inside of you, and you're going to just like let it be, and you're gonna like, you know, make sure that you see that success, see the end of the finish line, make sure that whatever battle that you've been, you know, facing or whatever, or fighting, you're going to be the victor of it. And this is beautiful because I feel this is all sort of like rooted in goodness and love and stuff. So you're not like fighting for nothing. You're not like fighting out in the name of like, you know, immorality. It's really good for you. you know, all this, you're gonna have so much courage to really put in the effort that you need to, you know, really fulfill, you know, really, I don't know, bring that idea, actualize that idea into your reality. And I love that. So this would be a really good time within the first 2 weeks of July to really sit and think about what is it that you want? What is it that you know, your heart calls out to? This would be a really great time to start manifesting that. Super great time. So yeah, you're gonna be in a victor's seat during the second week of July. During the third week, you're going to actually experience that. And this is the card that keeps jumping out for everyone. The 10 of Pentacles. You're actually gonna be experiencing like the fruit of your efforts. You know, you're gonna reap the rewards. And it's gonna be great. You're gonna have a great time. You're gonna party. You're gonna live it up. You know, whatever. You're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I'm satisfied. You know, you're gonna revel in the success. You might even call in more success during this time as well, as you solidify that success and really like just bring it all together, full circle. But then at the end we have this, the eight, I think, yeah, 8 of Cups. And this was in air signs reading too. So the 8 of Cups is usually about abandonment sometimes. That's usually the way that's read. But this time you're going to read it as, okay, now what's next, you know? So it is sort of like an abandonment at this time, but it's sort of like, okay, instead of like, okay, what's next, and like completely disregarding all that success, all that fight that you have to do to get that success and stuff like that, you're going to be in a space of like, okay, I want more and I have to go get it. Let me just pull this. Yep, 9 of Pentacles, asking for stability, literally looking for stability, looking for your next move. You know, how can you make this stable? How can you make this secure? That's what you're going and looking for. That's what you're going to get and look after. You're going to learn how to sustain all the success and make sure that you build on top of it as well. And so that's what's going to be for your month of July. Beautiful, actually, if you ask me. So we have Eros and Vitality. I love that word. Both of those words, Eros and Vitality. You guys fucking know me. Anyway. Pour your desires all over me. Take my body and make my heart sing. I love that. Yes. Okay, so this is how I, like, what came to me initially when I was reading this card is like, that's the universe speaking to you. Pour your desires all over me. Take over my body and make my heart sing. So you're actively speaking to the universe. And you're being like, this is what I want, this is what this is what my heart truly wants. And that desire, that pure desire is going to cause, the universe, your deity, God, whatever, to really just be like, yes, finally they're asking me for this damn thing. So really make sure that you be specific during this time. Really figure out what it is that you want. And they're going to give you that that create, like, the creation power, that divine power of like creating your life, the snap of the finger or whatever, as you continue to move with passion, move with love, move with pure desire that comes from your own heart. And here we have creativity and alchemy. Fortune and prosperity go hand in hand. So is your ability to sing, what you already have. Again, so that's the end of that that month of July. Like, okay, I've got this. I've been handed my fortune. I've got my treasure. How am I going to make sure that it stays with me? And that's what you're going to do for the end of the month. And I love this for you guys. I love this for me too, because you know, I got a lot of fire in my personal planets, so I'm taking this personally, taking this to heart. And yeah, that's it for you guys. Love that for you. Go ahead and live your best life. I will as well. If you want a more in-depth reading, you can book with me and get a reading on my website, jojobaastudios.com. Link will be in the description. I'm gonna move on to, last but not least, to my beautiful, beautiful water signs. Sorry, I'm gonna move on to earth signs. All right, earth signs. What does July have for you? These cards are just like being exchanged. Nothing else in the deck wants to pop out. Okay. Oh. Interesting. Interessante. Oh my god. The more I look at this, the more I'm like, yeah. Let's get it, Earth signs. Earth signs, you're gonna have a great time. But it's like also like, whatever. We'll get to it as soon as this fourth card is pulled for July, fourth week of July. What's happening, baby? I haven't used this deck in a long time, partly because it's very slippery, but also partly because I put away all of my decks and stuff, and it's been sort of, you know, at the bottom. So I'm pulling this deck out for some air. Okay, yeah, guys, you're going to have a beautiful, beautiful July. It's gonna be filled with like, I don't know, like success, but in a sense where it's like, okay, a building of it, you know, like the beginning, if that makes sense. Like it's gonna be very much beginner's luck type of deal, but also you're gonna be learning a lot and really like taking your place within this fortune that's been favored to you. Let's just get into this. We have the Six of Swords here. Sorry, my nose is fucking up. We have the Six of Swords here. So you're going out and actively looking for something, right? So during this first week of July, it's gonna be like, okay, I have shit that I need to do. Like I have the desires that I'm yearning for, needs that need to be met. And I'm looking for ways to complete and fulfill all of those. So that's what you're going to be doing. Exploring, going on a journey to find who you are, what you want, and how to get those things. So the first week might be a bit of just, reflecting, but also actively going out and getting stuff done. There's going to be work here, but you're also in this state of just I don't know, just being open and exploring your options and stuff like that. In the second week, though, we have 9 of Pentacles, which I also love this card. This is also one of my favorite cards. This is about tending to your garden and nurturing what's there, and claiming your fruit, claiming your rewards at the same time. So during this time, you're probably going to be successful. You're going to have, that's where this beginner's luck comes into play, where you are in a state of just, okay, well, I got a new job and it pays 100 times more than what my old job pays, and now I get bonuses and stuff like that, and it's going to be it's aligned with the vision that I have for myself. Or maybe it's just oh well, now I'm in this new place and whatever, you know, whatever it might be, you're going to see that like actualize, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be like, okay, um, I'm so happy. I'm in a space where it's like, okay, well, I have something that needs to be taken care of now. You know, it's something that I have in mind. It's something that fulfills everything that I, you know, really desire, really need, really want. And it's going to, you know, really be really an eye opener for you to see how easy it is to sort of like get the things that you want once you like actually, you know, go out and get it. But also like it's gonna be a space for you to actually grow in like maybe your field, or if you're not like working in your field right now, maybe you will be sooner on, or later on. But if you're not working in your field right now, if you're not even thinking about it, maybe it's just, you know, going down the path. Or maybe you are and you've already sustained yourself in your field and you're just like, okay, well now I need to sustain myself spiritually or whatever. Like how can I make my life more lively, you know, more livable, more like aligned with what I see for myself. And so then we have the King of Swords here in the third week of July. And here, one thing that I love about the King of Swords is that he's so coded. He's literally so coded, but here you can see like butterflies surrounding him. So this is sort of like a butterfly effect. Like whatever happens, like whatever you do during this time will grow. It will have consequences. So make sure what you're doing is you're breathing in life to things. You're nurturing, you know, your desires and your needs and yourself and stuff, and speaking life into, you know, your just overall existence. Because that's what's really going to help you, and that's really what's going to help you manifest the things that you're trying to bring in, or more of what you've already called in at that point. And so here we also have like you're at one with nature and stuff like that. So maybe commune with Mother Earth about, you know, grounding yourself in the reality that you created for yourself at that moment, the second week of July. But then we have the King of Swords, and with this, you're going to learn a lot about how to like communicate like your desires to other people, and really like sort of like be on Earth and like exist, and stuff. So it's like you're going to have like this sort of persuasion, this air of persuasion here, especially with like this last week of July as well with the Page of Cups. There's obviously like you're going to have influence over other people. That's going to help you a lot during this time, but make sure you keep in mind that you cannot like take from other people, just create for yourself. You know, like don't take away another person's like, I don't know, blessings because that's the blessing that you want. Instead, just create that blessing for yourself, or ask for that blessing for yourself, and not take away from that other person. So that way you both get to keep, you know, what's rightfully yours. Remember, creation, not competition. So again, you're gonna have like a lot of you're going to be very persuasive. You're going to be very like charismatic and stuff. So make sure you use that to your advantage as well. But this is also going to be a time where you're going to be like learning or like showing, if not learning, then showing your skill, your knowledge on a certain thing. It's going to put you in like high status, and I love that. Then we have Page of Cups. So, and since we're like ending on this, it's kind of like, okay, we're moving now out of love, out of like compassion, out of like, you know, spontaneous. I don't know, I can't say that word. I've never been able to say that word. But you're going to be like more spontaneous, and you're going to exist in that space for a while. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good time. You know, just make sure that you're open to different ideas and that you continue to solidify um, you know, your place in this reality that you've created for yourself. And it's going to be pretty good. I would say you have nothing to really worry about, really. Okay, so what else is there for you for July? What else is there? We have balance and wealth. Witness your desires blossom and expand when you simply ask for what your soul demands. Yep. And then we have prestige and mastery. May your strength be acknowledged, so respect shines among others. Love that. Okay, so yeah, this goes with both like the end and beginning of your month. So remember that like whatever you're seeking, whatever you're searching for, just ask for it, you know, ask for it to come to you. That way you're both going towards each other and your journey's not as long, but also just so the universe knows that you're actually like looking for it. And you're not just blindly along this journey for like no reason, you know. And make sure that you nourish, you know, your desire, whatever. Nourish that by completing actions that sort of lead up to that desire. You know, fun fact: I manifested um, a like doing like undergraduate research, like this paid research opportunity, because I was actively like doing things that was like required, like would have been required of me to know. So like with this research, I talked to the professor and I was like, hey, I really want to do this. He's like, okay, well, there's other people that are interested, and I'm just going to see like which one's best, you know, whatnot. And so that's what happened. And then I ended up not getting the position to start with, but I was first alternate. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to, you know, do this anyway because one, I really wanted that position, and two, I just loved the work that was being done, and it was something that I was actually really truly interested in. So I got like 2 textbooks, literal textbooks to learn, you know, a skill that would have been or that is beneficial to me in the field, or you know, during that time. um, and so I did, and as I was doing it, like for I think like the second or third time, I got an email from that professor, and I was like, and it said, hey, person dropped out, you're in, do you want to accept it still? I was like, absolutely, duh. And so here's the message of that message. I genuinely, although I did want the part, I wasn't working like um, I wasn't working on it because I knew I got it. I was working on it because it was what I loved and whatever. So it's what I loved and what I was passionate on or towards about. Um, and so as I was working out of the goodness of my heart on something that would have been beneficial to me in the thing that I was trying to manifest, which was the field position, the research position, I asked the universe initially when that position was open, hey, I want this. And I showed my dedication to it, even though it wasn't mine, you know, during that time of just sort of like, I don't know, limbo, this transition period. Just sort of like waiting to see, you know, what would happen. In fact, it wasn't even limbo, and at that point, it was a done deal. I wasn't chosen, but I still did the work I needed to do, out of the goodness of my heart, truly purely just like the desire to learn and like, you know, have that skill. So maybe, you know, if another opportunity comes around, I'll be prepared for that, and I'll have more knowledge to have in my back pocket so that I'll be chosen, you know, for that position instead of the one, you know, the other one. So yeah. And during that, I wasn't sad that like the other person got it. Of course, it was like, you know, I felt a type of way. I was like, okay, well, it's okay, you know. I didn't actually feel any sort of like negativity, although I was like, in my heart, I knew I had it. I just again, in my heart, I knew I had it. There was no negativity for me to feel, because if that person had it, then okay, good, you know, but in my heart, I already did. So I was working towards it because I already knew in my heart that it was mine. So when you do that and you see, like, you know, opportunities pass by, they're not yours. They're not yours. So if you see other people take the opportunities that, you know, could have been for you, don't get jealous, don't get mad, don't get, you know, any sort of, you know, have any sort of like hate or negativity towards them. Don't push that towards them. Keep love for your heart and know that your desire is there. And that if you hold it in your heart, if you truly do keep it in your heart and feel it, there's literally no choice. It has to come to you. And that the perfect position will come to you under the perfect circumstances. And you will feel so much more grateful knowing that it's truly yours because you attracted it from your heart. You attracted it just from loving it to begin with. So remember to keep passion, hold passion, and ask and hold that in your actions. Hold your wishes in your actions. And yeah, may your strength be acknowledged. So respect shines among others. Again, like that whole story, may your strength be acknowledged, so respect shines among. Never take away from someone else, but at the same time, build yourself up. Not for other people, not to, you know, not to see, you know, whether or not, like, you know, that person, if you're going to be chosen over that person or whatever, but just because, you know, it's the healthy thing to do, it's the right thing to do to further yourself in your field, to further yourself in like a skill that you love and your desire, your hobbies, you know, just like what you love to do here on this earth, because that's what you're here for, you know. um Strengthen yourself and highlight others as they, you know, make their wins or whatever. It's great to celebrate other people, but it's also great to build yourself up at the same time. There's no either or. Again, there's no competition, only creation. So keep that in mind. And with that, I will leave you with that. Again, if you want a more in-depth reading, you can book with me at jojobastudios.com. Link will be in the description. And yeah. Oops. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Like, literally, I love doing these readings because it makes me feel good on the inside, just being able to share this wisdom with you guys. It's truly something that I truly do adore and love doing, and I'm tearing up at this point because I truly am really grateful to be able to do this for you guys, because it's really, it warms my heart being able to teach you and share with you and everything. That's why I'm in this line of work to begin with. That's why I started my business to begin with, because I really try not to cry. I really do enjoy sharing this wisdom and being a bridge for you to, you know, cross to get to where you're trying to be, and helping you become the person that you visualize in your head, your higher self. I truly do enjoy all of that work. It brings me so much joy and so much peace and so much love. It really fills my heart. Anyway, before I cry, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. The links will be, the links, my social, oh my god. Anyway, my social media links will be down in the description. Again, book a reading with me if you want to. No pressure. Obviously, I do these every month, so you can just get this every month if that's what you want to do. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. Bye.